Following on daily from Pallekele, England have sealed the T20 series with a 6-wicket win on Duckworth Lewis. 9 wins in 10 completed T20s. Harmony, England are quite good at this format.
Yeah, they are, and I thought it was a good performance. Few areas where I still think England can get better at and need to get better at in the World Cup. How they get through 6 overs at the start of an innings with a ball is definitely something I think England need to find a formula on, and then the rest of it I thought was very good. I thought the spinners bowled very well again. Shout out to Will Jacks, who didn't bowl in the first game, who came on in the power play, bowled very nicely and made sure that Adil Rashid and Harry Brook had a chance to use Rashid and Dawson when he needed to use them in the middle and towards the end, and not have to sort of firefight and use them at the sort of front half of the game to get himself in a better position after the seamers had a little bit of struggle with the way Sri Lanka played. You know, they did the ball badly, well, and the power play with 2 fielders outside, and the way the modern generation play. I mean, yeah, I thought Sri Lanka played really, really well in that first 5 or 6 overs. A couple of straight ones from Archer, from Curran. But apart from that, I thought England 189, 20 overs. I thought England were comfortable. I didn't think England would lose too much sleep on that. I thought that was a good surface, a better surface than the last one. And I thought if England got off to a good start with Salt and Buttler, I thought 189 England would not chase it comfortably, but I still thought I would rather have been in England's dressing room. And as it happened, the rain came, and they got over the line nice and easy with, I think, some with some positivity. I mean, Jos looked good in the short innings he had. Banton was fantastic. Harry Brook 36 off 12 balls again. But I mean, so pleased for Tom Banton, because he made his ODI debut 5 and a bit years ago, and he's played 7 ODIs. That's all he's played. So, and he's been in a lot of squads, and he's had to carry a lot of drinks. And he probably came into this tour thinking, here we go again, I'm carrying drinks again, not expecting to play, and Duckett busts a finger, and now, I mean, good luck leaving him out. I mean, I thought his execution of the plan he had and the processes he was going through in his mind to how he was going to access the boundaries of the slower bowlers and of the fast bowlers, I thought it was very, very good.
We'll talk about Jos later becoming England's all-time leading appearance maker in all formats, but an example of how the game's changed from when Jos made his debut in 2011 to now is Tom Banton spoke to me afterwards. I hear that on tomorrow's show. He said the run chase was more like a T10 game, and the fact that now they're looking at over 10 and over, 11 and over for the revised target, and they get it quite comfortably in the end.
It is, and it's all about putting pressure on the bowlers at the early part of the over. I mean, 10 and over in modern day, I mean, it's a boundary of 2 and, you know, the singles. Yeah, making sure, you know, every time you have a dot ball, you need an extra 2 as opposed to a single. As long as you're getting with 10 overs to go, if you need 10 and over, you're trying to get 10 boundaries. You're going to get more than 10 boundaries, but you know, not having the singles, not getting bogged down, holding your nerve, waiting for that one big over. That one big over goes for 18. Well, then it's game over, and I think that's what the modern player thinks, the way he looks at it, the way he plays, the way he executes it, and I think we've seen that with when Brook came in, you know, Buttler at the top, and Banton the way he played. I thought it was a better half with the bat than it was with the ball, but there was still a hell of a lot of good signs with the ball, especially our spin bowlers. I thought our spin bowlers were really good.
You talk about Ben Duckett's injury, and now that Tom Banton is sort of good luck dropping him. So how does Ben Duckett come back into the side? You said on following on that if fit, Duckett's in your T20 side.
Duckett is in my T20 side if fit, and now, I mean, I think if I was picking the England team now, I'd be keeping Banton in off the back of the way he played. We've seen a glimpse of it in the first game.
Yep.
And if he goes into the last game and scores runs again and bats the way he plays, I think you've got to ride this wave. I really do. I think this is what this format's about. I think you ride that wave, you stick with him. I think if I was in the selection panel of this, I think I still want Harry to go 4 and possibly Banton at 5. Yeah. And then it's which one do you go with your left-handers? Do you go with Bethell, who gives you more of a fielding option and a bit of bowling? Or do you bring Ben Duckett back in, who's had a torrid time in the winter, but he's out of the team because of a little injury. But he's been very, very good for England in the shortest format as well. So that would be the big decision. I don't think it is Banton or Duckett. I mean, let's be fair. You look at it, and we keep talking about the huge potential that Jacob Bethell's got, and he's captained the white ball side in Ireland. Since the start of 2025, in T20 cricket, he's played 16 times, the highest score of 36.
For England.
Now, for England. Now, that's 16 games highest score for your number 3 of 36. When you look at the way Banton's gone there, nearly 30 in the first game, do you want Duckett? How much do you want Duckett in your side in India? The sweeps, the reverse sweeps, the way he plays spin, over a more utility player in somebody who can be explosive with the bat, can fill an over or 2 in with a ball and be a gun fielder. I actually think it's Bethell or Duckett now, because I'm riding this wave of Tom Banton, because while you've got a hot streak in T20 cricket, you keep playing them for me.
So you mentioned this series, one of the things that probably they need to improve is finding that bowler. You mentioned it after the first T20 to back up Jofra, but is it good that they've got this next third T20, the series is out of the way, they've got the third T20, then they've got the likes of Italy and Scotland, West Indies and Nepal, who you expect England to beat, and that's not being arrogant about it. England are just the better side on paper, so they've got 5 games now to find that solution heading into the Super 8s of the T20 World Cup.
That's one way of looking at it, and that's a positive way of looking at it. The sort of half empty glass would be you could muddy the waters by nailing against Italy, Scotland, Nepal, and then when you come up against the big boys, you think, oh, actually, this wasn't as good a plan as what we thought. So I think it's keeping the plan balanced. The experiment, actually wasn't an experiment. You had to put Tom Banton in against a very, very good Sri Lanka side at home in their own back garden, and he paid off. Now, if this was against Nepal, Italy, and Scotland, I'd probably go, right, we'll probably have to pick Ben Duckett, because it's well and good in this, but we know Duckett can do that against the big boys. Banton's done it against a decent side here, a decent bowling attack. He made a half decent spin bowling attack look bang average. Hasaranga's no mug. He's a proper bowler. And the other kid was bowling 90 mile an hour. So they're finding the formula with the ball in that first. I think it's not the first 6 overs. I think it's the first 3 overs. Jofra's going to bowl 2. Who bowls that 1 potentially has to bowl another one at number 5 and number 6 in overwise. Is it a seamer? Are we going to have the option? Is it going to be turning slow that Jax is going to be our power player bowler? Or do England have to look at possibly getting Luke Wood into this series, seeing what happens with that, and then possibly make a tough decision on whether you go with you leave out one of your seam bowling all-rounders. They are things that I think England need to find. England need to find out about 1 or 2 areas, and that's one of probably the key things. Do they need an extra power player bowler? Because our power player at the start in the last 2 games from our left arm seamer in Sam hasn't gone the well as what we'd like. And then if we think, right, Luke Wood comes in, and if Luke Wood does well and goes all right, does it muddy the water? Does it give us another option? But it also, we think, well, if that's the case, then we might have to leave one of our seam bowling all-rounders out, because we've got enough spin to cover however many overs we need in a T20 game. But I still think 1 over towards the end of the game and 1 over in the power play, I think we haven't, or 2 overs in a power play, we haven't quite nailed, and we might, and that are little small things that are going to be the difference between getting to the knockout semi-finals, potentially going on to challenge in the tournament.
Just finally, a word on Jos Buttler then, officially now England's leading all-time appearance maker, as we said. I spoke to him just now, you can hear that on tomorrow's podcast. He was quite emotional, really, because obviously his father has passed away. He said they'd be looking down on him with pride. But looking at Jos's career, what's the most proud thing about Jos's career? If you look at Jos and say, I'm proud of you because of that, is it the achievements or is it the longevity? He's been at the top of the game for 15 years and he doesn't look like he's any signs of stopping right now.
I think the longevity, I mean, I say this with all due respect, I think the selfishness that he has to make himself better and put himself forward for tournaments, going to the IPL, he's now got a young family, going to the SA20, all these tournaments, and people will go, well, yeah, because they pay well. Yeah, they do, but Jos Buttler will not be short of a few quid. So he keeps striving to be better by moving his game on, by playing in these tournaments, pushing himself against the best. So when he comes back to England, he's still the best. And that, for me, the longevity, the numbers he's had, I mean, it's a remarkable achievement. It really is, because he played a lot of test matches. Whatever anybody thinks of his test match career, he played in a difficult time for English cricket and test match cricket towards the end of his test match career. But in white ball cricket, in one-day cricket, in T20 cricket and 50-over cricket, he's the best that we've ever had. And sometimes the best that we've ever had doesn't always get the accolades or has the numbers because of either the injuries or the loose focus, or in somebody in my time starts working himself and gets sacked. These players are special talents. So to go about your business, and I think he is quite channeled in how he goes about it, and sometimes being a bit selfish and looking after yourself and making sure that you're the best version of yourself to go and challenge any game of cricket, whether it's a franchise cricket or an England game, that's going to benefit a team. And I think sometimes that gets lost. And when people say, you've got to be a team man this, you've got to be a team man that, you haven't got to be a team man. Your best attributes towards your team is to be the best version of yourself, and how you go about that is in many different ways. But you go on a field and you play the best cricket for you, and that will benefit the team. And I think Jos has done that over the course of 402 games. I think it's a monumental achievement, and it's one that I think he's got a little bit more left in him. And I think, yes, Brendan McCullum says to put a smile back on his face. Yeah. But no, I think there's a player there who, I think, a bit like Joe Root in the Red Bull game. Yeah. Let's appreciate him while we've got him, because I don't think we're going to have him for too much longer. 1 year, 2 years. That's possibly it. Yeah. Joe might go on for 2, possibly 3 years. But while we've got him, let's appreciate him, because he's the best we've ever had.
And knowing Jos and having spoke to him over the last few years and got to know him a little bit, I think the most satisfying thing about tonight was that they've won the game, they've won the series. Forget his achievement, but Harmy, there's a huge story in world cricket happened tonight. We'll talk about it on Following On with you and Neil Manthorp tomorrow. But a reminder, Following On Daily will be back tomorrow. We'll hear from Jos Buttler reflecting on that achievement, and Tom Banton as well. And don't forget, live and exclusive coverage of the third and final T20 from Pallekele on Tuesday afternoon. We're on air at 1 p.m. ahead of the 1:30 start. As I say, Following On Daily will be back tomorrow. Following On, the weekly show, will be back on Tuesday morning. But for now, thanks for watching Following On Daily.